This is KGW News at 11.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. The words of caution tonight are coming on the day Oregon reported 24 new deaths. That is the highest reported in one day since the pandemic began.
And this chart shows the number of people who've died each week with COVID. The number has started to increase sharply in the last month following the huge spike in cases. Our Mike Benner learned the story tonight of just one of those lives lost.
We just need to care.
A plea from somebody who knows the dangers of COVID-19 all too well. Brian Alexander has battled the virus, as did his wife, Mary Kay.
But I fear you won't be like I left you.
That's her dancing at the couple's church in Lane County before passing away in March.
Widowhood has been described, to me as like having a piece of you chopped off, and I think that's true.
Brian believes he and Mary Kay contracted the virus while attending a memorial service in Washington State in late February. Shortly after returning home to Lane County, both got sick. Mary Kay, seen here in an old home video, felt the worst of the two.
She said, well, get the shower ready for me. So I got the shower ready for her, and she says, I'm going to need you to help me up to get in there because I'm not feeling really great. So I go over to help her up, and she collapsed on the floor. Her legs didn't work at all.
Brian says Mary Kay stopped breathing. Her lips turned blue. He called 911. Medics rushed Mary Kay to the hospital, where she died at the age of 60.
3 days later, I get a call from the county health department saying she tested positive for COVID.
Brian eventually did too, but he recovered. He says Mary Kay's death was the first in Lane County to be linked to COVID-19. In the months to follow, the number of deaths across the state was relatively low, but we've seen a spike as of late. At last check, the coronavirus has claimed more than 900 lives here in Oregon.
I'm doing my best to live my life and figure out how to go ahead on my own.
Brian says it's hard. So too is the constant reminder that not everybody thinks the pandemic is real.
It's out there. It's real. And you may get sick or you may not. And if you get sick, you may get hospitalized or you may just die from it.
Brian is urging everyone to take this seriously. Wear masks and social distance.
It behooves us all to be very, very careful. And do what we can to not infect ourselves, our loved ones, or just other people in the world.
Some good advice there from Brian Alexander. He says he and Mary Kay were in the process of moving from the Eugene area to the coast when she died. He says he still has plans to do that, adding that staying in the house they shared together is just too hard. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Thank Brian for sharing his story. And this just into the newsroom, we are learning about a tragic crash in Salem. The wife of Oregon politician and Salem oncologist Dr. Bud Pierce was killed on the day he announced his second run for governor. Selma Pierce was a retired dentist and well-known community leader who ran for the Oregon House of Representatives. Police say she was hit and killed by an SUV on Dokes Ferry Road in Salem tonight. It appeared Selma Pierce was in the road when she was hit, but we don't know much else about the crash at this point. The driver is cooperating. Her husband, Bud Pierce, ran for Oregon governor in 2016 and announced earlier today he was going to run again in 2 years. In a post on Facebook tonight, he said, "The glue of the Pierce family, an angel of a person, the only woman that I have ever loved, died this evening in a sudden and tragic accident. We cannot believe that she has left us, but we are comforted in the knowledge that she is with God, and we will see her again." The House Republican leader, Christine Drazen, also released a statement reading in part, "Selma dedicated her life to serving people. She touched the lives of thousands through volunteer dental work to at-risk populations, service on local education foundations, and her husband's generous support of countless community organizations. And all of us here at KGW send Dr. Pierce and his family our deepest condolences."
Returning now to our coverage of the pandemic, Oregon is shifting to a new set of restrictions this week. They'll be different county by county depending on the amount of virus spreading in those counties. The governor's office released this new assessment today of each county's risk level. This is slightly different than the map that we showed you last week. 25 counties here, including all of the metro area, are in what they're calling the extreme risk category. Those are in red on the map. Hood River and Morrow County were added to that list today. Orange is high risk, yellow, moderate, and green, low. You can get a closer look at this map and a list of all the restrictions that come with each risk level on kgw.com. The restrictions start on Thursday. Now, while many doctors are working overtime, as you know, to treat COVID patients, one Oregon doctor doesn't really think the virus is all that serious. He admitted that he doesn't even wear a mask inside his own clinic. Kyla Boshi tried to track him down today.
An Oregon doctor working at this family practice near Salem has refused to wear a mask while treating patients, despite government orders to help limit the spread of COVID-19.
My name is Steve LaTulip. I am a practicing physician in Dallas, Oregon.
The doctor's controversial comments were captured on video during a Stop the Steal election rally in Salem on November 9th, then posted on YouTube by the Multnomah County Republican Party.
I hate to tell you this, I might scare you, but I and my staff, none of us once wore a mask in my clinic.
In the video, Dr. Stephen LaTulip admitted breaking COVID rules. In Oregon, an executive order says healthcare personnel are required to wear a face mask or face covering while in a healthcare office with limited exceptions. The Centers for Disease Control and Federation of State Medical Boards have similar guidance requiring masks to stop the spread of COVID-19. By helping prevent respiratory droplets from spreading.
I petition all of you, please take off the mask of shame. It is a mask that is just designed to control you and to shut you down.
Dr. LaTulip owns and operates Southview Medical Arts in Dallas. His name and contact information appear on the Salem Health website. When questions were raised, Salem Health distanced itself from the doctor, explaining, Dr. LaTulip is not employed by Salem Hospital, nor does he provide care at any Salem Health hospital or clinic location. They said his name is simply listed in a directory of local doctors.
I want to expose what I call coronamania.
The doctor's defiant speech came to light after another controversy involving a healthcare worker. An oncology nurse at Salem Health was put on administrative leave after she posted a TikTok video where she bragged about violating the state's pandemic restrictions. On Tuesday, the Oregon Health Authority reported 24 COVID-related deaths, the highest single-day total of the pandemic. We tried to reach Dr. LaTulip for comment. His wife said after speaking with his lawyer, he might, but only if we spoke face-to-face at his clinic. I agreed face-to-face was fine, but outside, socially distanced, and preferably wearing masks. She hung up, and we haven't heard back. Kyla Boshi, KGW News.
Last night, we told you that Portland has seen nearly double the number of shootings this year as compared to last. Today, we learned of two more. Just before 4:30 this morning, shots were fired near Southeast 136th and Powell, at the same spot where another shooting happened the night before. Investigators found 18 shell casings. 2 homes were hit by bullets. That was the 779th shooting of the year. We also learned of a shooting Sunday night near Foster and 111th. In that case, police say a group was fighting in the street. And when a neighbor stepped outside to see what was happening, one of the people shot him. He is expected to be okay.